Well, if you want to lose weight, eat a healthy diet, exercise. That seems to be the advice from most physicians as well as nutritionists.
Yeah, but holistic doctors think a little bit differently. They don't focus on weight, diet, or exercise. Dr. Chiti Parikh is the founder of Integrative Health and Wellbeing at Weill Cornell and the author of the book Intentional Health, How to Detoxify, Nourish, and Rejuvenate Your Body into Balance. She joins us now with a new perspective at healthy living. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is a tall tale.
Yes.
How do we do it?
So first of all, let me talk about what holistic medicine is, right? Holistic medicine looks at the whole person. It's not about the labels that are put on us, what diagnosis someone has. It takes into account not just the physical symptoms, but also the mental, psychological, spiritual, environmental, all of these aspects that make us who we are.
So what do you say to someone who is struggling with their weight and they're constantly being told, it's what you eat, exercise, and now Ozempic? What do you tell them?
The first thing I say, it is not your fault, because the conventional medical approach has been, you gotta, just diet, you gotta exercise more, cut those calories, right? Studies have shown that does not work. And I'm sure you've experienced this too, right? So do I. Two people in the same family, eating the same food. One person gains weight, one person loses weight. How do you explain that? That's because our metabolisms are very different, right? It's not just genetics. And also, for women, our hormones change throughout our lives.
Say that again.
Right? So our hormones affect our metabolism and our weight. And I think until now, we haven't really focused on those things, so.
Yeah, and you prioritize, in the meantime, body fat percentage and metabolism over weight. Why is that?
Because body fat is a much better indicator of how healthy we are and how strong our metabolism is. Because if you just look at your weight, right, we don't really know how much fat do you have, how much muscle, how much bone mass do you have, right? Because we actually have an epidemic of something called skinny fat in this country. So skinny fat people are the ones that fall into this normal BMI health category, but they actually have a lot of fat around their organs. And this fat can actually increase your risk of things like diabetes, heart disease, and even certain types of cancers.
So how do you measure that internal fat?
So it's a simple $30 solution. You can actually buy these digital scales online that can measure your weight, but also your percent body fat, along with how much muscle mass do you have. So these are easily available, and they often come with an app, so you can actually track this over time. And if you're part of a gym, a lot of gyms actually have these fancy weighing scales that can measure your percent body fat, and a lot of doctors' offices also have these machines.
Are those the ones you stand on and you hold with your hands?
That's it.
I've seen them. I'm just scared of the results.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Well, the timing, though, of meals can also have a big impact overall. Like, I like to have a late night meal and then just go to bed.
Blood sugar.
I know. So for me, the first thing I talk to my patients about is when they're eating, not just what they're eating. So they're often surprised, like, why am I not focusing on diet and asking them, what time is your breakfast? What time is your lunch? Studies have shown that people who eat more than 50% of their calories before 3 p.m., which is basically eat a good breakfast, eat a good lunch, they tend to have almost 30% less incidence of things like heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers. So that's the reason I focus on meal timing first before focusing on just what you're eating. So ideal breakfast time, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., that's ideal.
Okay.
And then lunch should be between 12 and 2. And then dinner between 6 and 8.
All right. So, you schooled us on a lot of things today, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.